The plane was breaking apart. The captain was dying. His last words made no sense to anyone except the quiet girl in 22C. Ghost Rider? That name. That forbidden call sign. How did he know? Why did he say it? And why was she now walking toward the cockpit like she owned it? Before you watch full story, comment below from which country are you watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories. Flight 892 from Chicago to Seattle was half empty. Middle of the week. Late afternoon. Most passengers were business travelers typing on laptops or people heading home after visiting family. In seat 22C, near the middle of the plane, sat a young woman named Maya Chin. She wore a simple black jacket, jeans, and white sneakers. Her dark hair was pulled back in a ponytail. She had headphones in her ears, listening to music. Reading a book about astronomy. She looked like a college student. Maybe a graduate student going home for break. That's what the flight attendant thought when she offered Maya a drink. "Just water, please," Maya said with a quiet smile. "Sure thing, honey." The attendant poured the water. "Long day." Something like that. The attendant moved on. Maya went back to her book. Just another passenger. Nothing special. Nothing remarkable. Nobody knew the truth. Nobody knew that Maya Chen wasn't a student. She was a pilot. Not just any pilot. She flew experimental aircraft. Jets that didn't officially exist. Prototypes that pushed the limits of physics. She worked for a program so classified that even most military personnel didn't know about it. Her call sign was Ghost Rider. Because when she flew, she disappeared. Radar couldn't track her. Enemies couldn't find her. She was there and then gone. Like a ghost. But today she was just a passenger. Taking a commercial flight because her own plane was being serviced. Trying to blend in. Be normal for once. The plane took off smoothly. Climbed to cruising altitude. Everything seemed perfect. For the first hour it was boring. Exactly what Maya wanted. Boring was good. Boring meant safe. Boring meant normal. She read her book. Drank her water. Thought about nothing important. Then the turbulence started. At first it was minor. Little bumps. The plane shaking slightly. Normal turbulence. Happens all the time. The captain's voice came over the intercom. "Come. Professional. Folks, we're hitting some rough air. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts. Flight attendants, please be seated." Maya had already buckled up. She'd been flying long enough to know that turbulence could get bad fast. The flight attendants secured their carts and sat down. Passengers stopped what they were doing. A few looked nervous. The turbulence got worse. The plane started bouncing. Not just shaking. Actually dropping and rising. Like a car driving over speed bumps at high speed. A woman gasped. A child started crying. Carry-on bags shifted in the overhead compartments. Maya stayed calm. She'd flown through worse. Much worse. This was nothing compared to pulling 9GS in a prototype fighter jet. But something felt wrong. The turbulence wasn't random. It had a pattern. A rhythm. Like the plane was being pushed by something. Maya's instincts kicked in. The instincts that had kept her alive through 50 test flights of experimental aircraft. The instincts that told her when something was about to go very wrong. She looked out the window. Dark clouds everywhere. Lightning in the distance. But that wasn't what caught her attention. The wing. The left wing. It was flexing. Bending more than it should. Commercial aircraft wings are designed to flex. They're supposed to. But this was different. This was too much flex. Too much stress. Maya's heart started beating faster. Then she saw it. A small crack. Near the wing root. Where the wing attached to the fuselage. Her breath caught. That crack could spread. Under this much turbulence, under this much stress, it could spread fast. And if it spread far enough, the wing would fail. The plane would break apart. Everyone would die. Maya reached for the call button. She needed to tell someone. Warn the pilots. But before her finger touched the button, the plane dropped. Not a little drop. A big drop. Like an elevator with cut cables. People screamed. Objects flew. The lights flickered. Maya's stomach lurched. She gripped her armrests. Her training told her exactly what was happening. The plane had hit a downdraft. Strong downdraft. Pushing them down fast. The pilots would be fighting the controls. Trying to pull up. But with that crack in the wing, the plane leveled out. Still shaking. Still in heavy turbulence. But flying again. Maya looked at the wing. The crack was bigger. Definitely bigger. She needed to do something. Now. But what could a passenger do? She couldn't fly the plane. She couldn't fix the wing. She was just... The intercom crackled. The captain's voice came through. But it wasn't calm anymore. It was tight. Stressed. Trying to stay professional but failing. Ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing severe turbulence and we have a situation. We need to. Static. Crackling. Then his voice again. Quieter. Like he'd moved away from the microphone. But Maya could still hear him. He was talking to someone else in the cockpit. The co-pilot maybe. And he said two words that made Maya's blood run cold. Ghost Rider. Then silence. Maya's mind raced. Ghost Rider. He'd said Ghost Rider. That was impossible. Her call sign was classified. Top secret. Nobody outside the program knew it. Nobody. So why would a commercial airline captain say those words? Unless he knew. Unless this wasn't a random flight. Wasn't a coincidence. Unless someone had planned this. Maya unbuckled her seatbelt. The plane was still shaking. Still bouncing. But she had to move. Had to get to the cockpit. A flight attendant saw her stand up. Ma'am, please sit down. It's not safe to. I need to talk to the captain. Right now. Ma'am, that's not possible. Please. Maya leaned close. Spoke quietly but firmly. My name is Maya Chin. Call sign Ghost Rider. I'm a military test pilot. The captain just said my call sign. That means he knows who I am. That means this is not a normal situation. So please let me through. The flight attendant stared at her. Confused. Scared. I don't understand. How could the captain know you're? I don't know. But I'm going to find out. Now move. Something in Maya's voice made the flight attendant step aside. Maybe it was authority. Maybe it was certainty. Maybe it was the look in Maya's eyes that said she would go through anyone who got in her way. Maya walked toward the cockpit, holding onto seats for balance. The plane kept shaking. Passengers stared at her. Some angry that she wasn't sitting. Some too scared to care. She reached the cockpit door. Knocked hard. 3 times. Captain. This is Maya Chin. Open up. No response. She knocked again. Harder. Captain. I heard you say Ghost Rider. I know you're in trouble. Let me help. Still nothing. Maya looked at the flight attendant who had followed her. Can you open this door? Only in emergencies. This is an emergency. Open it. The flight attendant hesitated. Then nodded. She pulled out a key. Unlocked the door. Maya pushed it open and stepped inside. The cockpit was chaos. Warning lights everywhere. Alarms beeping. The captain and co-pilot both gripping their controls, fighting to keep the plane steady. The captain was a man in his 50s. Gray hair. Experienced face. Sweat running down his forehead. He glanced back when Maya entered. Who the hell are you? He demanded. Maya Chin. You said Ghost Rider. That's my call sign. Why? The captain's eyes went wide. You're actually here? On this flight? Yes. Now tell me what's going on. The co-pilot, younger, maybe 30, spoke up. We have a structural failure. Left wing. And we're in the middle of the worst turbulence I've ever seen. We can't climb out of it. Can't descend. We're trapped. Maya moved closer to the instrument panel. Her eyes scanned the readouts. Altitude. Airspeed. Stress indicators. How bad is the wing damage? Bad, the captain said. We're losing structural integrity. The cracks are spreading. If we pull too hard on the controls, the wing could snap off. And if you don't pull hard enough, we drop out of the sky. Maya understood immediately. They were in an impossible situation. Turbulence was forcing them to make aggressive control inputs to stay level. But those inputs were putting stress on the damaged wing. Every correction brought them closer to catastrophic failure. How much time do we have? She asked. The captain shook his head. I don't know. Minutes maybe. Maybe less. Then tell me why you said my call sign. The captain reached into his pocket. Pulled out a phone. Showed Maya the screen. It was a text message. Sent 20 minutes ago. Before the turbulence started. The message said, Captain Reynolds. You have Ghost Rider on board. Seat 22C. When the turbulence hits, you will need her. Say her call sign over the intercom. She will know what to do. Maya stared at the message. Who sent this? Unknown number. I thought it was a joke. Some prank. But then the turbulence hit and I saw the wing damage and I said it. I didn't know what else to do. Someone knew, Maya said quietly. Someone knew I was on this flight. Knew where I was sitting. Knew we'd hit turbulence. Knew the wing would crack. The co-pilot turned pale. Are you saying this was sabotage? I'm saying this was planned. Someone damaged that wing before takeoff. Weakened it. Then directed us into this weather. Made sure we'd hit turbulence strong enough to finish the job. But why? Maya didn't answer. She knew why. She'd made enemies. Lots of enemies. People who wanted the technology she tested. Countries that feared what she could do. Organizations that would kill to stop her program. Someone had tried to kill her. And they'd been willing to kill everyone else on this plane to do it. Can we land? She asked. Not in this turbulence. And even if we could, the wing won't hold for a landing. The stress of touchdown would tear it off. What about emergency landing? Belly landing? Same problem. The impact would destroy the wing. We'd cartwheel. Break apart. The plane dropped again. Art. The alarms got louder. Captain, the co-pilot said, voice shaking. We're descending. I can't hold altitude. Pull up. Gently. If I pull too hard. I know. Just gently. Small inputs. The co-pilot pulled back. The plane's nose lifted. They stopped descending. But Maya heard a sound that made her heart stop. Crack. A loud crack. Metal stressing. Metal failing. The wing, the captain whispered. It's going to break. Maya made a decision. Let me fly. Both pilots turned to look at her. What? I'm a test pilot. I've flown damaged aircraft before. Planes with worse problems than this. Let me take the controls. You're not rated for commercial aircraft. You don't know the systems. I know physics. I know aerodynamics. And I know how to fly when everything's falling apart. That's my job. That's what I do. The captain hesitated. This was insane. Letting a passenger fly. A stranger. Breaking every regulation. But they were going to die anyway. What did regulations matter? Fine, he said. Take the co-pilot's seat. The co-pilot moved. Maya slid into his place. Her hands touched the controls. Familiar. Even in a different aircraft, controls were controls. Throttles. Instruments. She felt the plane through the controls. The vibrations. The resistance. The way it wanted to move. And she felt the wing. The damaged wing. How fragile it was. How close to failure. Okay, she said quietly. Everyone stay calm. I'm going to do something crazy. More crazy than this? The captain asked. Maya smiled. It wasn't a happy smile. Much more crazy. Maya's mind worked fast. Breaking down the problem. Finding solutions. The wing was damaged. Couldn't handle stress. Turbulence was creating stress. Pulling and pushing on the aircraft. Normal response to turbulence. Fight it. Make corrections. Keep the plane level. But fighting created stress. Stress broke the wing. So don't fight. I'm going to stop making corrections, Maya said. What? The captain looked horrified. If you don't correct, we'll be thrown all over the sky. Passengers will be injured. The plane could roll. Yes, but the wing won't break. If we stop resisting the turbulence, stop fighting it, the stress decreases. We let the plane ride the turbulence like a boat on waves. That's insane. It's physics. Trust me. Maya released the controls. Stop fighting. Let the turbulence take the plane. The aircraft dropped. Rose. Tilted left. Tilted right. It was like riding a roller coaster. A terrifying, violent roller coaster. In the cabin, people screamed. Objects flew. It felt like the world was ending. But the wing held. The cracking sound stopped. The stress indicators decreased. It's working, the co-pilot whispered. The wing stress is dropping. How long can we do this? The captain asked. Until we get out of the turbulence, Maya said. How long is that? The captain checked the weather radar. At least 20 minutes. Maybe more. Then we ride it for 20 minutes. The passengers can't handle 20 minutes of this. They can handle it better than crashing. The captain wanted to argue. But he couldn't. She was right. For 5 minutes they rode the turbulence. Not fighting. Not correcting. Just letting the plane move with the air currents. It was brutal. Uncomfortable. Terrifying. But they were alive. Then Maya noticed something on the instruments. Captain, we're descending slowly. Losing 100 feet per minute. The turbulence is pushing us down. Can we add power? Climb? Not without pulling up. And pulling up stresses the wing. Maya thought. There had to be a way. Some solution. Then it hit her. What if we don't pull up? What if we change the engine power instead? Use asymmetric thrust. Asymmetric thrust? That's not how commercial aircraft. I know it's not standard. But I've used it in experimental aircraft. If we increase power on the right engines and decrease power on the left, We create a rolling moment without using the controls. We can adjust our pitch using just the engines. The captain stared at her. I've never heard of anyone doing that. Because most pilots fly normal planes. I fly planes that shouldn't be able to fly at all. You learn tricks. Trust me. If you're wrong, we die. Same as if we do nothing. So let me try. The captain nodded slowly. Do it. Maya's hands moved to the throttle controls. She pushed the right engines to full power. Reduced the left engines to minimum. The plane began to roll. Slightly. To the left. But the nose also lifted. Just a little. Just enough. They stopped descending. It's working, the co-pilot shouted. Maya made micro-adjustments. Balancing engine power. Playing with the physics. It was like conducting an orchestra. Every change had to be perfect. Too much power, the plane would roll too far. Too little, they'd descend. But she'd done this before. In planes that were falling apart. In planes on fire. In planes that should have killed her. This was what Ghost Rider did. Fly the unflyable. How much longer? She asked. The captain checked. 15 minutes. Then the weather clears. We can make it. 10 minutes passed. The turbulence continued. Maya continued her delicate dance with the engines. The passengers continued screaming. But the wing held. The plane stayed in the air. Then the radio crackled. Flight 892, this is air traffic control. We show you deviating from your flight path. What is your status? The captain grabbed the radio. ATC, we have severe structural damage and are in heavy turbulence. We have an experimental test pilot at the controls using non-standard procedures to keep us airborne. Silence from ATC. Then, say again? Test pilot? Affirmative. She's the only reason we're still alive. Understood. What do you need? Clear airspace ahead of us. We need a straight path when we exit this turbulence. And emergency equipment on the ground. Our landing is going to be rough. Copy that. Clearing airspace now. Flight 892, can you make it to Seattle? Maya spoke up. Negative. The wing won't hold that long. We need the nearest suitable runway. The captain relayed that. ATC came back. Nearest suitable runway is Peterson Field. Small airport. 80 miles northeast. But the runway is short. Only 6,000 feet. Maya calculated. Heavy plane. Damaged wing. Short runway. We'll make it work, she said. Vector us to Peterson Field. Roger. Sending you the heading now. New numbers appeared on the navigation display. Maya looked at them. Looked at the weather radar. We have a problem, she said quietly. What now? The captain asked. To reach Peterson Field, we have to turn. Turning puts stress on the wing. The damaged wing. How much stress? Enough to break it. Maybe. Maybe? I won't know until we try. The captain closed his eyes. Is there another option? We could continue straight. Wait for the turbulence to end. Then look for another runway. But you said the wing won't hold much longer. It won't. So we have to choose. Risk turning now while we're in turbulence. Or risk waiting and possibly running out of time. The co-pilot spoke up. What would you do? If this were your decision? Maya didn't hesitate. Turn now. Control what we can control. Don't wait for luck. The captain nodded. Then we turn. On your mark, Ghost Rider. Maya smiled at the call sign. She hadn't been called that in months. It felt right. Felt like coming home. Okay, she said. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to use engine asymmetry to roll us into a turn. Very gentle. Very slow. No control inputs. Just engines. It'll take time, but it'll minimize wing stress. How long? 3 minutes for a 90-degree turn. That's forever. That's alive. Ready? Do it. Maya adjusted the engines. Right side full power. Left side minimum. The plane began to roll. Slowly. So slowly. She monitored the wing stress. Watching the indicators. Listening for cracking sounds. The roll continued. 5 degrees. 10 degrees. 15. A crack echoed through the cockpit. Small. But there. Wing stress increasing, the co-pilot reported. I hear it. Hold on. Maya adjusted the engines again. Reducing the roll rate. Slowing even more. The crack sound stopped. The stress stabilized. They kept turning. 20 degrees. 25. 30. More turbulence hit. The plane bounced. Maya's heart jumped. But she kept her hands steady. Kept the engines balanced. 45 degrees. Halfway through the turn. We're going to make it, the captain whispered. Maya didn't respond. Didn't want to jinx it. 60 degrees. 75. Then suddenly the turbulence stopped. Just stopped. The plane went smooth. Quiet. The shaking ended. They had flown out of the storm. We're clear, the co-pilot shouted. Maya finished the turn. Leveled the wings. Let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. Peterson Field is 30 miles ahead, the captain said. We're going to make it. But Maya wasn't celebrating yet. We still have to land. And landing is when the wing will face maximum stress. Can we do it? We have to. 20 miles from Peterson Field, Maya assessed the situation. The wing was holding. Barely. The cracks had stopped spreading. But they hadn't healed. The wing was weak. Fragile. One wrong move would tear it off. Landing checklist, the captain said. Gear down, flaps down, standard approach. No, Maya said. No. Standard approach requires flaps. Flaps change the wing shape. Put stress on the wing structure. We can't use them. Without flaps we land too fast. We need flaps to slow down. Then we'll land fast. Better fast than dead. The captain understood. Fast landing on a short runway. With a damaged wing. This gets better and better. Do we have foam equipment? Maya asked. Can they foam the runway? This is a small airport. They might not have foam. Ask them. The captain radioed ahead. Peterson Field, do you have foam capability? Negative, Flight 892. We don't have foam trucks. Maya thought fast. What about water? Can they wet the runway? Why? The captain asked. Wet runway creates friction. Helps us slow down. Not as good as foam but better than nothing. The captain relayed the request. Peterson Field confirmed they had water trucks. Start wetting the runway now, Maya said. We land in 10 minutes. She began the approach. No flaps. High speed. Damaged wing. Everything her training told her not to do. But Ghost Rider didn't follow normal rules. Ghost Rider did whatever it took to survive. 5 miles out. She could see the runway. Small. Much smaller than commercial runways. This is really short, the co-pilot said nervously. I've landed on shorter, Maya lied. She hadn't. But confidence mattered. Fear killed. 3 miles. She adjusted the descent rate. Not too steep. Stress on the wing. Not too shallow. They'd overshoot the runway. Perfect balance. Perfect precision. 1 mile. She could see fire trucks. Ambulances. Emergency vehicles everywhere. Gear down, she ordered. The captain lowered the landing gear. 3 thumps. 3 green lights. Gear down and locked. Speed. 180 knots. Too fast. Way too fast. Normal landing speed was 130. But normal didn't apply anymore. Half mile. The runway filled the windscreen. Brace for landing, Maya said into the intercom. Everyone brace now. In the cabin people grabbed their seats. Put their heads down. Prayed. Quarter mile. Maya's hands were steady. Her breathing calm. She'd done this 1,000 times in simulators. Hundreds of times in real aircraft. But never in a commercial jet. Never with 300 lives depending on her. The runway lights rushed up to meet them. 100 feet, the co-pilot called out. 50 feet. 20. Maya pulled back slightly. Flared. The plane's nose lifted. The main wheels touched. Hard. The plane bounced. Came down again. Harder. The left wing flexed. Bent. The cracks visible now. Growing. Reversers. Maya shouted. The captain activated the thrust reversers. Engines screaming. Fighting their own forward momentum. The plane decelerated. Fast. But not fast enough. They were eating up runway. Too much runway. Too fast. We're not going to stop, the co-pilot yelled. Maya saw the end of the runway. Trees beyond. If they went off the runway into those trees? She made a decision. A crazy decision. Asymmetric braking, she shouted. Maximum brakes on the right side only. That'll spin us. Better spin than crash. She slammed the right brakes. Full pressure. The plane lurched. Started rotating. Spinning to the left. The passengers screamed. Objects flew. It felt like the world was tilting. But they were slowing. The spinning created more friction. More drag. The plane rotated 90 degrees. 180 degrees. Now they were sliding backward. Still slowing. Still spinning. 270 degrees. 360. And then, they stopped. 50 feet from the end of the runway. 50 feet from disaster. They stopped. Silence in the cockpit. Then the captain started laughing. Not happy laughter. Hysterical laughter. The laughter of someone who thought they were dead and discovered they were alive. "We made it," he gasped. "We actually made it." Maya's hands were shaking now. Adrenaline leaving her system. Reality setting in. "Everyone okay?" she asked quietly. The co-pilot checked the cabin on the monitor. "Shaken up. Some injuries probably. But alive. Everyone's alive." The radio crackled. "Flight 892, are you okay?" The captain grabbed the mic. "Peterson Field, we are on the ground and safe. Request emergency medical for passengers. Minor injuries. And tell your fire trucks they can stand down. We're not burning. We're not exploding. We're just sitting here wondering how the hell we survived." Maya unclipped her seatbelt. Stood on shaky legs. She needed air. Needed space. "Where are you going?" the captain asked. "Anywhere but here." She walked out of the cockpit. Through the cabin. Passengers stared at her. Some crying. Some praying. Some just sitting in shock. An old woman grabbed Maya's hand. "Thank you. Whoever you are. Thank you." Maya just nodded. Couldn't speak. Emotions overwhelming her. She reached the exit. The emergency slides were already deployed. She slid down. Landed on solid ground. And fell to her knees. She'd done it. Saved them all. The impossible landing. The impossible flight. But she knew this wasn't over. Someone had tried to kill her. And they'd almost succeeded. Ghost Rider had survived. But the people who wanted her dead? They wouldn't stop trying. This was just the beginning. 3 hours later, Maya sat in an airport conference room. FBI agents everywhere. Military investigators. Homeland Security. They'd found the evidence. The sabotage on the wing. Done before takeoff. A tiny explosive charge. Time to weaken the wing structure just enough. So that when turbulence hit, it would fail. "We're looking at everyone who had access to the aircraft during maintenance," an FBI agent said. "Mechanics, ground crew, fueling personnel. Someone planted that charge." "And the text message to the captain?" Maya asked. "Unknown. Sent from a burner phone. Untraceable. Someone wanted you to survive. Wanted the captain to know you were on board. Why? We don't know. But we have theories. Someone inside the organization that wants you dead. Someone who had regrets. Someone who sent that message as insurance." Maya processed this. So she had an enemy who wanted her dead. And an ally she didn't know about. "What happens now?" she asked. "You go into protection. Until we find who did this." "No." "Excuse me?" Maya stood. "I'm not hiding. I'm not running. I'm Ghost Rider. I fly planes that shouldn't fly. I survive situations that should kill me. That's what I do. And whoever tried to kill me? They just made a mistake. They showed me they're scared. And if they're scared, I must be doing something right." The FBI agent frowned. "This isn't a game, Ms. Chin." "I know. It's war. And I don't lose wars." She walked out. Past the agents. Past the investigators. Past everyone trying to protect her. Outside she saw the damaged plane. Being inspected by accident investigators. The wing with its cracks. The evidence of sabotage. She should have died today. Everyone on that plane should have died. But they didn't. Because Ghost Rider never gives up. Never surrenders. Never stops fighting. Someone wanted her dead. Wanted her program ended. Wanted the technology she tested to disappear. Well, they failed. And now Maya Chin had a new mission. Find them. Stop them. Make sure they never threatened innocent people again. She pulled out her phone. Called her commander. "Sir, it's Maya. I'm coming back early. We have work to do." "Are you sure?" After what happened, I'm more sure than ever. Someone's scared of what we're building. Scared enough to kill. That means we're close to something important. And I want to finish it. When can you start?" Maya looked at the sky. Clear blue. Perfect flying weather. "Tomorrow. I need one night to rest. Then I'm back in the cockpit. Back in the air. Where I belong." "Good to have you back, Ghost Rider." "Good to be back, sir." She hung up. Took a deep breath. Let the fear drain away. Replaced it with determination. She was just a passenger. Until turbulence hit. Until the captain said her name. Until she remembered who she really was. Not Maya Chin, college student-looking girl in seat 22C. Ghost Rider. Test pilot. Survivor. Fighter. And she was ready for whatever came next. This story is about identity. About how we sometimes forget who we are. We blend in, try to be normal, hide our capabilities. But when crisis comes, when people need us, that's when we remember. Maya could have stayed in her seat. Let the pilots handle it. After all, she was just a passenger. But she wasn't just a passenger. She never was. And when the captain said her call sign, she remembered. Sometimes we need someone to call our name. To remind us of what we can do. What we're capable of. Sometimes we need turbulence to shake us awake. And sometimes the most dangerous weapon on a plane isn't in the cockpit. It's in seat 22C. Reading a book. Listening to music. Waiting for someone to say the magic words. Ghost Rider. Remember, heroes hide in plain sight. Until they're needed. Then they fly.